Hello, everyone. We are live again. Another hangout, but this time I've got two very interesting people to talk to. One of which is we've got Joe, also known as the Last Pharaoh X, who is. I'm going to give a brief synopsis of both these guys, and then they can introduce themselves as well. He's called Joe. He's an ex-Muslim, a Muslim apostate, living in Egypt. I can't imagine how hellish that is. So we're going to be talking about what it's like to be an ex-Muslim in Egypt. And we've also got David, also known as the non-believer. And we've got Dave as well. Dave lives in Florida, so he has no Muslim problems really right now. So how are you doing?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool for now.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Joe.
Yeah, I'm living in like the second largest city in Egypt, which is Alexandria. I recently started like a YouTube channel, and I uploaded like 2 videos, and I have a lot more coming. So I hope I can bring like an insider perspective to like the conversation.
Looking forward to it, man. I found you a couple of days ago, and when I watched the first video, it was your second video, my jaw just dropped. I was like, this fucking guy is going places. It was just exciting to me, man.
Yeah, it's actually been like it's been crazy. When I made actually the first video or the second video, I had no idea that I'll ever like get even 10 views or something. I actually considered just putting like the first and the second video and just like see what happened. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe no one will ever watch it. But actually, I've been getting a lot of support, and people are actually interested in someone actually living in the Middle East, in an Arab country, in a Muslim country, and have like and can actually talk to someone from the West and tell them how things really happen here. Not people from the outside just talking about something they don't know. I've been getting a lot of support, and it's been overwhelming actually.
Yeah, because you have I mean, from my opinion anyway, you have a criminally undersubscribed channel. Simply because of the fact that you are an ex-Muslim and a Muslim apostate living in a Muslim country. Now, I don't know. Can you tell me, Joe, what the penalty is if anybody found out that you were an apostate in Egypt? Is it jail? Is it a fine? Is it?
Yeah, well, it have like different repercussions. So legally, it's not technically legal to be an apostate in Egypt, but it's illegal to talk against religion or disrespect religion in general. So it's not illegal.
So what would happen if you did do that publicly?
Yeah, I'll go to prison. So if someone found out who I actually am, this channel, if someone knew who I am or knew my real name. Anyway, the problem is in Egypt, the disrespecting religion charges, the state doesn't have to prosecute you. So anyone from the public like can hire a lawyer for like nothing and press charges against me that I'm disrespecting his or her religion, and I can land in jail like in 2 months. Actually, there's a TV host in Egypt that was just sent to jail for 5 years, and he appealed it, and it got like 1 year. And he's a Muslim. He's actually a devout Muslim. All he said that some hadith, the stories of Muhammad needed a little revision or some editing because some of it is weak or unreliable or just wrong. And he was sent to the prison for a year. So imagine if someone like me just come out and say Muhammad was a pedophile, for example. I can land in jail pretty quick. But actually the part that I'm most worried about is like the people in general. So if people, for example, knew who I was, they can just someone can just come out and stab you or shoot you, or what I'm really afraid of is come after my family, which is like a nightmare for me. So I can deal with me being attacked. It's not really an issue for me, but my family. First, knowing that I'm an atheist, my mom would probably have a heart attack, and second, someone could hurt them or really cause them some problems. So yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's, yeah, you do get kind of an impression of what's going on over there. Like you just can't say anything really.
My favorite thing that he said was when he spoke to the people of the West, and he said in his video, "You guys cannot allow this to happen in your countries because people like me don't stand a fucking chance if you guys are allowing it." You know, that really hit home with me, and I really feel your pain, bro. I just, you know, that's why I'm actively speaking against this shit.
Yeah, man. So
if you compare what we're doing, David, like it's kind of pussy shit, and it is pussy shit compared to what he's doing. It really is. I mean,
yeah,
this guy's in the firing line. I mean, this guy could go to jail. He could get shot. He could get stabbed.
Yeah.
I mean, soak that in, people. Soak that in, people who are listening to this. People who are mostly in America or the Western world.
Yeah, I can't imagine someone like coming out and saying that Islam is a religion of peace with a straight face. Actually, if he said that in front of me, I would punch him right in the face because it's fucking. Yeah. So I'll show him. I'll show him that Islam is not a religion of peace by punching him in the face because I used to be an ex-Muslim. It's in my blood. It's my nature. So I can't help it.
What you mean? So tell me, how long were you a Muslim for, Joe?
All my life. So basically, it's like I said in my video. So most Muslims in Arab countries, in particular, are like divided in three categories. So you have the Salafis, the Wahhabis, the people that are just very committed and very religious. They have absolutely no purpose in life. So, and then you have like the moderate Muslims, which is the pain of my existence. These moderate Muslims, they're the problem, actually, in my opinion. And then you have.
I found that very interesting in your videos that was what really got to you. Right. These Muslims are also making the excuses for you.
Yeah, and it's making it harder for people, harder for people like me and people who want to speak up, because the majority of like a country like Egypt are these moderate Muslims, which, in my opinion, are not Muslims. They're just they're just pretending to be Muslim or living the experience of being a Muslim. It's like someone who's blonde and just dye his hair and get a tan and act like he's Latino or something. It's like someone living a lie. He's not actually a Muslim because he's not following the basic teachings. Oh, yeah, and
he's not a fundamentalist.
No, it's not fundamentalism. Again, like I said in my video, ISIS are not extremists. They're just following the book. They're just following the religion. They're not extremist. You can't be extreme in Islam unless, like, it's very difficult to become extreme in Islam.
When the doctrines themselves are so extreme, it's pretty difficult to push.
Yeah, it was born as an extreme religion. It's like from the get-go, it's extreme. So you can't be extreme just because you follow something that is explicitly written in the book. How is that extreme? It's not extreme.
That's the norm.
Yeah. So if you find someone that is, in your opinion, as a Muslim, is working against Islam or or as it says in the Quran, fighting Allah and His Messenger, and that is an elastic term. It can mean anything. It can mean from mugging to killing to just causing some traffic jam. It can mean anything. It means that you are harming the people of Islam or harming Muslim people. So that charge, people fighting against Allah and His Messenger, which is stated in the Quran, it could mean anything. So if you found someone like that, someone said, for example, did an armed robbery or mugged someone, if you as a Muslim find someone like that and you arrest him and you cut his hands and legs and crucify him, specifically, it says that explicitly in the Quran. You cut their hands and legs from opposite sides, you crucify them, or you banish them from the land. So if you did that, are you extreme? You're not. You're just following
it to the T, to the
yeah,
exactly how it says.
Yeah. It says that explicitly. So it's not extreme to do that. It's not extreme to cut someone's head off, because
to people outside the religion, it's definitely extreme. So that's why we do call them extremists. But they don't call themselves extremists.
Yeah, exactly. You call them extremists because you have been conned by these moderate Muslims that this moderate Islam is the religion of Islam. So ISIS is extreme, when in fact ISIS is the norm, and these moderate Muslims are extremely to the left of ISIS. So the moderate Muslims are the extreme ones, not ISIS.
Is it getting better or worse? Where you live? It's getting worse?
Worse compared to what? Compared to
yeah.
Compared to what? Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I guess I would have to have been there, but
I understand what you're saying, David.
Yeah. So,
are you saying like
in your lifetime? In your lifetime.
So yeah, I was born actually at the beginning of like the Islamization of Egypt. So Egypt used to be much more secular. I actually just tweeted like some big pictures on my Twitter, which shows like the Egyptian women in like up to like the 60s and the 70s. It looked pretty much like a European country in every way imaginable. So
I seen the same thing for Iran. I saw pictures of Iran in the 60s and 70s. It looks like it's the United States.
Yeah. Actually, Egypt was very secular. It was very much like a European country in every way imaginable. Right up to the 80s, right up to the mid 70s and the 80s, when you can actually like see it happening in like the girls' schools. So if you watch the girls' schools from like the 50s up to the 80s, you'll see the number of girls wearing hijab rising. And this is the indicator that you can check to see that the rate of the Islamization of Egypt. To up to now, if you go to like a typical Egyptian school, it depends on the location of the school and the neighborhood and the economic status of the neighborhood that the school is in. But like a typical Egyptian girls' school, you'll find a lot of girls that are wearing hijab. Just kids, just like in first grade. They're not even like women or teenagers even. So yeah, Egypt used to be a lot more secular, but now it began like being radicalized right in the mid 70s and up to the 80s when I was born, and that of course was due to the amount of money that Saudi Arabia kept pumping into like the non-profit organizations, the charities, the free clinics, the private schools, all these things that Saudi Arabia started funding in Egypt in order to create this generation of Wahhabis and Salafis, and they succeeded like with flying colors, and the Muslim Brotherhood had a major role in doing that.
Yeah. Speaking of the Muslim Brotherhood, we discussed this, Joe, briefly on a direct message, and
Yeah.
on your second video, you
Yeah.
mentioned a term that me and Lalo Dagash had talked about with regards to Muslim populations of Western, not countries necessarily, but Western towns, smaller sects of people, such as towns, cities, countries.
Yeah.
Not countries. If you have a particular percentage of Muslims, me and Lalo talked about it before, where you would begin to see problems within society where the Muslim population begins to start causing trouble. Now, in the second video that you made, you referenced a term which blew my mind. That this is actually something that the Muslim Brotherhood recommend. Now, so if you can just discuss what that, or tell people what that term is and what it means.
Yeah, it's called istid'af or taqiyya. It's taqiyya and istid'af are like connected to each other, and it's really it really can't be translated in like one word, but it basically means like in Islam, you can, if you consider yourself in a land of kuffar or a land of enemies of Allah, so Islam basically originally it says that you can't lie, you can't deceive, you can't be a hypocrite, but if you consider yourself to be in the land of kuffar, infidels or non-believers, or you consider yourself at war with these people, it's perfectly okay to lie, cheat, deceive, steal, do whatever you need to do in order to reach your goal or to benefit Islam or to benefit Allah. And this like concept is actually ingrained in Islam and in Islamic culture. It started with Muhammad. So if you really want to understand this concept, you need, I don't know if we have time, but you really need to understand the beginning of Islam because it illustrated it perfectly, in my opinion. So I don't know if we have the time, but I'll be happy to like...
Yeah, because it does tie back to what I was saying, because I grew up in, I don't know if you know this, Joe, or David, but I grew up in a town called Bradford, which is in England, and this is a mainly white place when I was growing up, but during the late 80s, early 90s, we had third generation Muslims. We've always had Muslims living there, but during the sort of 80s and 90s, we got the third generation Muslims coming in. You know, obviously from the parents of first generation Muslims that ever came to England back in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah,
and I always got the impression that they looked down on us, that they saw us as, I don't know, an inconvenience, and I don't know. It's difficult to put your finger on unless you've lived around a lot of Muslims.
They feel sorry for you.
You're not Muslim.
Yeah, actually, there was a tweet the other day. Someone retweeted to me of I think I can't remember. Was it like Angelina Jolie that wanted to adopt like a Syrian child or something? Was that happening? It was someone. Yeah, it was someone. It was what?
It was a while ago. I mean, she was adopted like 5 years ago, right?
No, it was like Angelina Jolie or some. Anyway, so that tweet was of an Egyptian girl, or maybe she was Jordanian. I can't remember, but the story was that this woman, I think it was Angelina Jolie, I can't really remember. So this woman said that she wanted to adopt a Syrian child to rescue him from like the war and everything. And this girl, this Arab girl, was saying in Arabic, why would she do something like that to this kid? He is better off dying or getting blown off in his country as a Muslim in Syria, better than going to the United States and living like a kafir.
An Arab wrote that to her?
Yeah, no, it was No, if they retweeted it like that the news headline of Angelina Jolie or whoever wanted to adopt the child, and they wrote like a comment on it. So this is what they say. Yeah. So they actually feel sorry for you that you live this decadent, this aimless and pathetic life that you live that you live in. That you're not a Muslim, they feel sorry for you, and they despise you at the same time.
You're standing in their way in England, in Bradford, England. You're standing in their way of what they really want, which is Islamic theocracy.
Yeah, and they're actually saying it. They're actually saying it loud and clear, and people are just not listening. They're not hiding it.
Yeah, one of the real big things I picked up on you was that term where you said that when Muslims come into a new country and they're not and they are without number, that they have to or must act weak or meek or whatever. Can you expand on that point a little?
Yeah. So in order to explain it, I have to tell you what Muhammad did when he first started preaching his religion. So at first he was he was an outcast in Mecca where he used to live. So not a lot of people followed him, and there's actually a big difference. The Quran is divided into two parts. So you have the verses that came down to him in Mecca, and you have the verses that came down on him in Medina. So he was from Mecca, and when he first started getting his revelation from Allah, and he started preaching to the people and asking them to join his religion, not a lot of people listened. But of course, he was weak at the time. He had no followers, and the followers that he had were poor people with no status, people on the margin of society. So, and the best lines of the Quran you'll find from this era of Mecca. So the lines about not hurting anyone, being nice to everybody, no compulsion in religion, you have your religion and I have mine, all these nice hippie verses you'll find in Mecca, in the first part of the Quran. Yeah, so he was acting weak and nice and inviting, so people would join him. But when the people in Mecca, the high up people, the people that control Mecca, got tired of him causing trouble and starting to talk nonsense,
they outed him, right?
Yeah, they kicked him out of Mecca. Yeah. So of course he took 80 people. I think it was nothing. It was a group of people that believed in him. He took them from Mecca and he went to Medina. So this is the part that Muslims and Muslim Brotherhood and Muslim scholars call istidaf. So it's two levels, two parts of the same process, istidaf and tamkeen. Istidaf, which means that you are weak, you have no power to enforce change by force. So you have to get along, you'll have to act weak, you have to play nice until you get the sufficient power in order to do something, in order to force change, which that part is called tamkeen. Tamkeen, it can be translated to being able or ableism, to be able to do something. So when he went from Mecca to Medina, he started like a whole other religion. So that the verses about being nice and playing along went away, and the other verses that nullifies every single nice verse that people spout when you tell them that when they want to tell you that Islam is the religion of peace, is guaranteed 100% that whatever verse they tell you is from the Mecca part, not the Medina part. Because when he went to Medina, he started making connections with hoodlums and people that used to raid convoys, thieves, thugs. He started making connection with these people, and he started preaching the first, it's like the biggest marketing campaign in religious history, which is you join me, we raid like a village, we raid like a tribe to convert them to Islam,